Welcome back to episode 100 and something of the Fantasy Football RPG podcast. I'm your host, Mike Cash. I'm joined by my co-host, Evan. And guys, it is the most wonderful time of the year. We're here to talk to you about college prospects. Evan, you excited to get into a little bit of the prospect season, dynasty rookie draft season, all the good stuff that comes with it?
Dude, Mike, I absolutely love this time. We get to talk some college football. We get to talk one of my favorite positions too, running back. Look at the resurgence of running back in the NFL this year. Man, oh man, what it could be for this rookie class.
Dude, I put out a little thing being like, listen, the best advice I can give you for the dynasty drafts that are coming up, just take the running back. Whoever's on the board, you're in between, like, do I take Devin Neal or do I take this fourth round wide receiver? Take the running back. Do I take Cam Scatterbu? Do I take this like Trey Harris? Trey Harris can take a lap. Take the running back. Take the running back. Take the running back. I'm excited to get into it. Let's start off with our consensus RB10. This is ranked between me, Evan, and one of the managers over at Last Road Sports. David was feeling under the weather, so he can't talk with us. But we combined our rankings. We have them all back to back, so we'll talk a little bit like who's higher, who's lower. But RB10. RJ Harvey out of UCF, 5'10", 207. Evan, what is there to like about RJ Harvey?
Oh, man. Okay. RJ Harvey, well, you said what to like. So
say good things.
Yeah. No, we're going to try and be nice here. Lateral quickness, jump cuts. All right. You've seen him make in the Gus Malzahn offense a lot of home run hits this year. If you had him for college fantasy football, absolutely loved him because he was scoring a bunch of points. He's versatile. He's played in multiple systems. He's played multiple ways. He's used multiple different ways. Probably gonna be in the low 4.4s, maybe mid 4.4s.
Yep.
We'll see how that actually ends up playing out. And he's a short king, baby.
Short
king. 5'9", but that means he has a chance to be a bowling ball. All right.
Has a chance but is he?
That's a little questionable here, Mike. Questionable, but he's at the bottom of our ranks, in the top 10 here. Redshirt senior as well, which always gives a little bit of pause. You want to see guys coming out as the true juniors or the redshirt sophomores. You want to see them early. You want to see them often. You want to see them utilized in the offense.
Yep. I will say he did kind of break out in 2022. Then he very much broke out in 2023. For some reason, he didn't come out last year. I think NIL deals kind of held a lot of guys back there. Evan, you guys talk about the positives. I'm going to talk a little bit about the negatives with RJ Harvey. You guys hear me about this in our film breakdowns and in some of our prospect breakdowns. I'm very big on pass protection for a running back. And RJ Harvey, he's willing to. He tries sometimes, but just no real technique, no real thump, no real stopping power. He just gets trucked a little too often. He relies on his speed at a lower level of competition. He always wants to bounce it to the outside and really try and move and groove and make the big play. I want to see him use that vision and keep it between the tackles, get a little bit of those yards that are there, rather than turning a 5-yard gain into a 6-yard gain because you got tackled trying to break it big, turn a 5-yard gain into a 10-yard gain, get the first down, enjoy the yards in front of him. Anything else to say about Harvey? I expected draft capital. Let's throw that out there for fun.
I mean, we're talking mid to late day 3. And that's where I would feel comfortable saying at this point that he's going to be going.
Yep. I think he's one of those guys maybe a team reaches on him in the 4th round if he tests well enough. We saw the 49ers do that last year, and we all chuckled at them. But it's just really not – he's not the kind of guy you want to bet on to get day 2 capital. There's some guys here that if they get that day 2 line, we're going to be way more excited about them. Harvey is not on the line. He's going to be a day 3 guy. We're excited about the role.
Do you think real quick? Do you think in your rookie drafts here, do you think that he is going to be a 3rd or a 4th round pick as of right now? We're still early in the process. There's a lot of numbers to come out.
I think my advice to people, and probably the way that I will be drafting them, he's going to be a 3rd round pick because a lot of these running backs in this class, we only went to top 10. There's probably 4 or 5 that we're still pretty excited about that could have roles at the next level. I'm just going to be swinging after like Ted McMillan, first round quarterbacks. There's a lot of tight ends that we're excited about. We'll get into that later. After that, I'm just taking running backs. Just whoever it is, sorted by draft capital, sorted by landing spot, sorted by our rankings. We would love if you would do that. Like, go find the running backs because those are the guys that we're excited about in the class. Do you feel the same? Third round ish?
Yeah, I'm thinking mid to late third round as of right now. If he slips to early fourth, fantastic.
Yep.
I wish I had some early fourth round picks. You know, that those early round picks. You know, they're just kind of elusive to me. You know, being in the back half of the draft all the time.
Oh my god! Tell you what, we're in a couple of leagues. I'll send you my early fourths because I'm in plenty. But let's talk about number 9, Kyle Monangai, 5'9", 210 out of Rutgers. What is there to like about Kyle Monangai? Or do you want me to talk a little bit about the scheme?
Yeah. So just go real quick. Rutgers was very, very decisive in their scheme.
No, they committed to the zone bit, and we love to see it. So zone blocking, it's where rather than everybody having a man or a place they want to go to, everybody just kind of flows in a big old wave, which let Monangai read those hips, read those blocks, and find the hole after the fact. Versus a gap running scheme, it's going to be your powers, your ISOs, your counters, like all of those plays where it's very clearly the tackle and the guard take this guy and they move up to the linebacker. The center is going to down block here. The tight end is going to push down. Like, those have very clear shapes that they make versus zone schemes. It's just one big wave. Monangai loved to ride that wave.
Very much so. So Monangai, getting into that, we got some Big Ten football here, baby. Like, Monangai is the epitome of Big Ten, lower level Big Ten football. Is your running back is just going to absolutely pound the rock. They're going to use a strong lower half to be able to just continuously fall forward. You're going to have them absolutely just have vice grips on the football. Monangai is a ball security king. If you want somebody that will not be turning over the ball, Monangai is that guy. You can go in there with a wrecking ball, put a helmet right there on the ball. It's not going to matter. He's holding on to that football for dear life. He knows that that's his lifeline to staying on the field. Powerful lower body. We already talked about that. Very good vision, very good patience, reliable hands. Yeah. Okay. And then high football IQ and incredible work ethic. The coaches praised how much work he put in the offseason consistently. They praised how much work he put in during season to be able to bring everybody else around him up. I mean, this is the kind of guy that is the definition of a locker room guy that can be a viable RB2 on your team.
Yep. That's what you want to see from a running back. Like, the coaches are going to love him. His teammates are going to love him. They're all going to be blocking for him. It's exactly the kind of guy that you want to bet on. I actually had a very interesting question. I was trying to look this up while you were talking. We talked with Harvey about how, well, I don't know, like maybe he goes day 2. Like, it's probably not likely, probably a day 3 guy. We're in our RB9. Day 2. Like, I could see him getting drafted in the 3rd round. Do you feel the same?
Oh, very much. I could see him going early in day 3. Like, I could see him going very back end of the 4th, going early in the 5th. I could see him maybe slipping to the back end of the 5th. But you put all that together, that's the front half of the day 3 picks. That's going to be a player that you want.
Yeah, so I went back. This would be the most running backs drafted since 2020 in the first 3 days or first 2 days. Dude, I think he's going to go round 3, and I think we're going to be really excited about how this class looks. I do have to say some bad things about him, unfortunately. He said he has good hands. He has fine hands. He is in the can catch category for me. Just really wasn't a lot of things. Not a great route runner. Not bringing you a lot. If you're expecting Christian McCaffrey, you're not finding it here. How many times did you see him get caught from behind?
Too many.
Too many. And then normally it's because he's throwing a safety into the stands. He's just too busy. Rather than just breaking the tackle and moving on, he's like dealing out punishment and saying, don't hit me again. But worth a note, lacks the long speed to talk about. Anything else on Monangai before we move on?
No, I mean, he shouldered the workload. Rutgers is Rutgers. If you know anything about college football, that's the absolute, just everybody beats up on them for so many years. And because of Monangai, they've actually been able to get some recruits in there. So they're looking like they actually have a future of a program.
Yep. I think Isaiah Pacheco did a lot for Monangai. Let's talk about Devin Neal, running back out of Kansas, 5'11", 215. Tell me the good things about Devin Neal.
He played at Kansas and he was featured in the offense. That's a good thing. We got to see some explosive plays. Expected to get a little bit better draft capital. We're probably talking, if I had to guess right now, we're talking somewhere in that 4th round range, similar to Monangai. That's a positive right there. What do you think of his pass catching ability, Mike?
It's good. It's better than Monangai.
It's good, not great.
Yes, he is capable in space, able to read his blocks well in he's getting a screen pass, he's getting a little swing pass outside, and he has blockers set up in front of him. He's able to set those blocks up well. You're not expecting him to run a Texas route and beat Bobby Wagner.
Sure.
He's fine.
What do you think of him in the open field?
Dude, he kind of left a little. So if we're talking about just straight up long speed, my guy runs so goddamn slow. And it makes me
runs so... Cinder blocks on his feet, Mike. You just hear him coming a mile away.
I was going to say, best case scenario for him, he ends up being this late stage Kareem Hunt where he's featured in an offense. He's very effective. The vision is good. He can pick his way through a crowd. He has ball security. There's all sorts of good things there. I just wish he was faster. I just wish we could take some Dylan Sampson speed and strap it onto Devin Neal or just a little bit more. Pass blocking is medium, strong medium, willing, able, has the size, just
better than most college running backs at pass blocking.
Yeah, we'll take it. I think his positives give him a place where he's going to stick around on a roster for a while, but just the combine's probably going to crush him.
He is not going to be a combine warrior. That is very true, which could cause him to slip, which, as a name to remember, when we're talking pure football ability and not metrics, numbers on a page, he has pure football ability.
He's good at football, certified good at football.
Yep.
Just maybe he slips in the draft. Maybe he becomes Kyron Williams?
No. Sorry.
No, that's fair. That's fair.
They're not the same back.
Doesn't have the same receiving work, but probably just as fast. Moving on. Anything else to say about Devin Neal? I know. So you had him at RB9, I had him at RB8, David had him at RB10. All of those are very shuffleable, and I think if we're going based off of where they go in the draft, I think Monangai has a better chance to go day 2 than Neal, but I think Neal is more translatable as a football prospect, but we'll see how it goes.
And as we talked before the show here, Mike, I have conviction on 7 guys as of right now, and we're grasping at a little bit of straws for me in these last 3. There's a lot of guys. There's little things here, little things there, little things here and there again, and you're like, okay, what do I want to value? What is the NFL going to value? How's the numbers going to work out? Definitely just too many questions to really put a true rank to them at this point in time for me.
I think what's nice about this class, and we'll just take a quick aside, we're at RB8 and we're like, man, we have some serious questions. We need to get these addressed. Last year, it felt like RB3. We were there.
Yep.
RB4, we were like, I don't know, man. Braylon Allen, not fast, fell off a cliff. He looks great this year, but that's to say the RB8 in this class is probably the RB3 or 4 last year. So let's cut him some slack. Let's talk about America's hero, put the team on his back, Cam Skattebo. I'm saying that right?
That's how people like to say it. So
that's how they're saying it. 5'11", 215 from Arizona State. My dad tried to comp him to Christian McCaffrey. Love you, Dad. Just a white guy. He's closer to Peyton Hillis than he is to Christian McCaffrey.
Toby Gerhart.
Mike Allstott, but skinny.
Sure.
Scrappy, gym rat. first guy in, last guy out, team leader. But
The puke and rally king.
oh man, talk a little bit about what Cam brings to a team in a positive way.
Tremendous forward lean. All right. We're talking about that. Just runs behind his pads, absolute bowling ball, just bounces off people. The contact balance of a lacrosse player. All right. Hear me out. Evan Royster, back in the day at Penn State, played lacrosse growing up, and he said that was one of the best things for his contact balance.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if Scadaboo ever played lacrosse, but he seems like somebody that would have. And that contact balance is translating every single time he's getting hit. You're watching linebackers bouncing off of him, even defensive ends. Like, you're watching them get hit by these defensive ends, and you're like, bro, how are you still staying upright? This is insane.
I'm losing it over here. That is the new white running back stereotype. Might not play lacrosse, but seems like the kind of guy that would have. So, yes, he does run extremely physically. He's very, very good in between the tackles.
Good receiver. Like,
good. Not great. Good.
No, not exceptional, not great. Yeah. But he has hands. He's willing to absolutely take a lick from a safety too.
Yep. And catch the ball still.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and he'll hold on to it. Sticky hands.
Yep. I know you hit on it already. I love his contact balance. I just think it's one of those things that it's going to make a coach be like, let's get him. Like, he could be a goal line back. He could be a short yardage back. He could be a between the 20s rusher. I'm going to talk about the negatives and the things that can take away from that. Ball security, a little bit of a concern. 10 fumbles in the last 3 years. I'm pulling this from NFL Draft Buzz. They said that he's clocked at a 4.62.
No, sorry. I will be happy if he is sub 4.65.
He's going to get the Kyron treatment there. My guy is slow. This is going to sound bad, and I need you to bear with me for a second. I think he thinks he's more athletic than he is. So he's always trying to, like, jump cut, break 2 tackles, run forward. Like, my guy, just be big and strong and go forward. Like, sometimes the play isn't there. You're not Nick Singleton. You're not going to spring the highlight SportsCenter top 10. Like, and he did a little bit last night, but
can he have a Tyler Algier?
I love that comp. So the 2 comps that I like, and I think he's somewhere on the spectrum. He's on the James Conner, Tyler Algier spectrum of very physical, very solid at what he does. And if he's featured as the lead back, he can be that guy. My concern, let's say he runs a 4.65. He's not going day 2 with the other backs in this class. They're going to pick somebody else. If he goes day 3 and never gets that chance, he's going to fade into obscurity.
Just like Tyler Algier did.
RIP to the homie. We all thought we hit Dynasty gold, and then they took Bijan top 10. Terrible team building move, but whatever. What do we know? Why I'm in my own basement. Moved up from my mom's basement. But
moving up. Here we go.
We love Cam. We think that he's very good. If he goes to a place like, let's throw out a couple of landing spots. Dallas takes over probably immediately. If he goes to Cleveland, I could see him taking over old Nick Chubb's role or Jerome Ford's role. Those are the 2 that come to mind that are exciting. Maybe the Vikings as a like yin and yang to Aaron Jones. The Chargers would use the hell out of him, and then he would fade into obscurity next year. Are there any other
take over the Gus Bus role?
Are there any other places that you'd be excited about?
If you would have asked me before the season, I would have said Arizona to take over for James Conner because he feels like a slightly lesser version of James Conner.
Well, they got Trey Benson, who's just James Conner but needs vision.
Oh man, okay, yeah, a lot of fun there. Yeah, I mean it's hard to be able to figure out exactly where he's going to land with a actual sizable role. So we'll see how the draft capital plays out.
Yeah. Anyway, we love Cam. We're just a little worried about the speed and what it could do to his draft capital. Let's talk about your favorite player, your RB1. I'm ignoring what your list says. Nick Singleton, 6'1", 226. We talked about this before the show. 0% chance he's 226. He probably weighed in right after Christmas with some cookies in his system. My guy's he's playing in the 2 teens. But tell me what you love about Nick Singleton.
I mean, we're talking a track athlete that has an athletic football build, that has always been one of the most athletic players on the field, still is one of the most athletic players on the field, does kick return as well. So he adds special teams value to a team. Every time he touches the ball, he's a potential home run threat, to be able to go out there and just absolutely rip a defense. Plus receiver. Like, we are talking arguably the best receiving back in this class. You want to fight me on that, Mike?
I'm thinking.
The way that Penn State uses him out of the backfield, the way that they line him up, the routes that he has to run out of the backfield, he hates pass blocking. He hates pass blocking, which is going to make it an issue. But he has soft hands. Like, we're talking about a guy that gets the ball in space and absolutely just accelerates, goes 0 to 60 in a second flat.
I agree. I think that he is nasty in space. Hear me out. I didn't put him on the list because I didn't know. He declared today LaQuint Allen.
LaQuint Allen could be fun.
He's a satellite back. That's all he does.
Sure.
Yeah. But as far as all of the time, Nick Singleton is, I think, the best receiving back because of what he can do in space, because of how he can move, and just the absolute load he brings with him. I think Travion Henderson probably has an argument there, but very good, very talented, very explosive. Let's talk about the bads with Nick Singleton, which is why I let you go first. I said before this season that Nick Singleton needed a seeing eye dog to get through the hole. He's moved up. Now he just needs a cane. It's better. It's cheaper. It's more effective. There's still times where it's like, brother, they ran power. Just follow the guard. And he just doesn't because he's such a gifted athlete. He thinks he can spring anything at any time.
Well, he has the LaShawn McCoy curse. He tries to hit a home run on every single play.
Yes.
Yep.
But I wish that he would take what is given to him a little more often. And I'm sure a coach is like, if he goes to Los Angeles, they're going to lose their minds. They're going to have such a good time with him. If he goes to Pittsburgh in Arthur Smith's offense, like, he'll probably only get 60% of the touches because Arthur Smith's a fantasy terrorist, but he'll be great. So I think there's a lot to like with him. I think
Can I send him to the desert? Can I send him to Las Vegas? Look, what do they have? They have first and second down backs. They don't have receiving backs.
He would be their 3-down back. Is this Amir Abdullah shade? Come on.
Amir Abdullah is gonna go. He's gonna be called.
I know. He's approximately 75 years old. But if he goes to Las Vegas, he's gonna be a volume queen. If he goes to any of the other places, we can be excited about what he can do all of the time. I think we talked about Scadaboo and Neal and maybe even Monungai a little bit. Like, their testing numbers scare us. Like, they don't look as quick on film as they should. Dude, Singleton is going to test at the combine. He's going to get first-round buzz. People are going to get so over the moon about him. I just wish that he was more willing and capable as a pass blocker, more aggressive at just hitting the holes that are in front of him. And I wish that Kaytron Allen he didn't look like the more, I'm not going to say better back because he's not. I'm going to say more competent back because he does all of the little things you want a running back to do more.
Kaytron is the NFL style of a guy that'll just hang around on a 52. Like, he'll hang around on 53. Like, just that roster, he's going to be there. He's always going to have some kind of role. Yep. I still think that we are completely underestimating how valuable Singleton as a returner is. Yes. Being a running back, being somebody that can get up to top speed so quickly, especially in the way that the kick return is now utilized, I think that is going to be a huge benefit. And let's just end on one thing here with Singleton.
Okay.
1.61 yards per route run.
Very good for a running back.
That's fantastic for a running back.
Yep. How were his yards per carry last year? Let me just check that real quick.
Whoa, last year he was dealing with a foot injury and an ankle injury.
No,
so
I'm just checking.
We got to have some grains of salt here
Huh.
for Singleton if we're looking at last season.
No, it's weird that he's such a good running back, but he only averaged 4 yards per carry. Huh. No,
okay. All right.
I'm kidding. Obviously he was dealing with some things. He looks much better this year. He looks healthy. He looks back. There's a lot of things to be excited about with him, but there's more things to be excited about with our top 5 guys. Be sure to hit like and subscribe. Catch us next week for running backs 5 through 1. Evan, it's a pleasure. And
Pleasure, Mike.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the Fantasy Football RPG Podcast. If you made it this far, be sure to like and subscribe. If you want to check out written content, head over to lastwordonsports.com.
Don't let the Goblins get you.